And our first main topic today gets submitted to us by Ryan Ausberry, who writes, "Hi, John and Robert. As a bit of a guilty pleasure movie series of mine is Paranormal Activity. Yeah, the sequels weren't as good as the original, but I always enjoyed watching them. I just read that they are going to reboot the series, and I was wanting to know what you guys think of that. It's being directed by the director of Underwater, which I thought was underrated. Thanks, and bring on the filthy." Okay, man, thanks a lot for sending that in. And yeah, Paranormal Activity is not necessarily a series of movies that everybody has watched, but it's definitely a series of movies that everybody knows about, Rob. Everybody knows about Paranormal Activity. And it looks like they're tooling it up again. This comes to us from the folks over at Variety who write, "Will Eubank, who directed Underwater, and Christopher Landon are teaming up to direct a new Paranormal Activity film for Paramount Players, set for release on March 4th, 2022. Eubank will helm the project, described as a new, unexpected retooling of the highly lucrative franchise. Landon returns to write his fifth paranormal movie and will executive produce. Blumhouse Productions founder and CEO Jason Blum and creator Oren Peli will produce the film with Steven Schneider as an executive producer." All right, that comes to us from the folks over at Variety. Paranormal Activity is kind of like it was the next thing to try to step up and become the heir apparent to, what was the one about the witch in the woods? What was that called again? The something witch? The Blair Witch Project. That's it. The Blair Witch Project. You know, Paranormal Activity kind of stepped up to be the next Blair Witch Project. And to many, in many regards, it did do that. Like it was able to step up and do that and enjoy that success. They were made for very little amounts of money. And then they went on to make pretty decent amounts of money. If I'm not mistaken, Rob, I think the first Paranormal Activity was made for, I don't know, pocket lint. I think 1 million or less. And it made like $190 million, something along those lines. It's absolutely crazy. And so then they did more. And again, even though there was declining returns, the fact of the matter is these were movies that were made for extremely little and made profit and got a lot of people talking. I'll tell you what, I enjoy the first one. I thought the first one was fun. I thought it was pretty enjoyable. So at some point though, you can only go so far with it and you got to retool. But Rob, this is a question. You see phrases like reboot, redo, retool, a fresh look, blah, blah, blah. I mean, there's so many different phrases that it's like, what's the difference between a refresh and a reboot and a retool and a relook? And I'm not quite sure what they mean when they say retool. It sounds a little bit like they're going to start this from scratch. Not sure. Anyway, Rob, you hear about this Paranormal Activity thing. What are the first things that pop to your mind?
Money. I just looked it up on Box Office Mojo. According to Box Office Mojo, the budget of Paranormal Activity 1, which came out in 2007, was $15,000.
I knew it was under $1 million. I didn't know it was that low.
And it made domestically $107 million, almost $108 million, and internationally it made $85 million for a total worldwide gross of $193,355,800.
Yep.
On a $15,000 budget. Now they probably, to get it in a release, let's just say they put another $500,000 a post into it, all the things that they had to do to put it out. Still, this has to be one of the most profitable franchises of all time. And, you know, one of the things I loved about this, John, was it had me when they set up the video camera in their bedroom at night, you know, and they're in their bedroom in the middle of the night, their closet door opens. I mean, I think the reason that this franchise was so genius to begin with is it preyed on a fear that everyone has since childhood. There's really something either under my bed or in my closet. And I mean, that's one of the most primal fears you can have. And they figured out a genius way. Dude, it's one shot on video where the door opens, and it's one of the scariest things. I mean, it's
that shot where she's laying in bed and you see her leg lift up like somebody's grabbing her leg and just slowly drags her out of bed. I'm like, what the hell? I mean, it was really effectively done.
I mean, everybody has that fear. It was such a genius idea. It's one of those. It's one of those multi-million-dollar ideas that you think, man, I wish I'd done that. But and I can understand. Look, these movies whether it's the Conjuring franchise or James Wan's Insidious. I mean, Paranormal Activity, all of it. It really is what kicked all this off, and we're not even tired of these ghost stories yet. If they're done well, they're irresistible.
Yep, and we'll see what they do now. Of course, I didn't think any of the rest of them were quite as good as the first one, but hey, this is something you want to go back, and it's right in Blumhouse's wheelhouse, right? Make something for an extremely small amount of money. Go ahead and make a really impressive amount of money. That's what they do. Question is, guys, what do you think about them going back and retooling, rebooting, revisiting, refreshing, whatever you want to call it, the Paranormal Activity franchise? It's probably a pretty good idea business-wise. Jump on down to the comment section below and let us know your thoughts. All right, guys.